Hey, it's Phil and Jeff here at GrubTribe, and we've got a menu breakdown for you. This would be episode number 1 of us going through some local OC menus that we love and kind of doing it like a post-game breakdown, X's and O's, like what do we like, what do we recommend, and even a little more information about these chefs and how they're doing really cool things. And today we're going to talk about Aneplaco, which is in Anaheim on Chapman. We're going to check out that dinner menu with Jeff. He's been there recently. And we're also going to break down Old Vine, which is in Costa Mesa over by it's in the camp. And they've got a lot of great stuff too with Chef Mark McDonald. And Jeff, talk about what's going on over at Aneplaco and what really kind of hits you as good.
Oh, I don't mean to be rude. It's in Orange.
It's in Orange.
And I'm sorry, it's kind of over there in that area, but just if
technically in Orange, good to
know. And just to throw a real
that was so rude.
I know. A quick pitch in. Chef Danny's about to open his new spot in downtown Santa Ana, called El Mercado, and it's going to be awesome too. But I wanted to talk about Aneplaco because I think it's one of the best kind of under the radar restaurants. I think a lot of the foodies and chefs know about it, but I can't tell you how many people call me on a weekly basis and ask for a place to go, and I give them Aneplaco and they come back and they're like, I'm so glad you sent me there.
Nice.
So I just wanted to throw a little love Chef Danny's way, and also I think the food here is just, it's awesome.
One thing too that I want to mention, because that's a good point you brought up. We're doing these because we get a lot of calls and a lot of emails from people that are looking for recommendations. And so we want to kind of archive these and have these breakdowns ready for people, as it's almost like, an answering machine for our phone that says, hey, go to Aneplaco, go to Old Vine,
But anyway, Chef Danny was trained in French kitchens, but he has a wealth of knowledge in Mexican cuisine and all the regions of where things come from and the flavor profiles. And he's really a genius when it comes to taking these French and even Japanese style techniques, which I thought in the culinary world, to be some of the best techniques there are when it comes to cooking, but applying them within Mexican flavors. And he just pulls off some of these dishes so well. And also, when you go there, you have to have one of the cocktails. The cocktails that are made there are just awesome. They're heavy on tequila and mezcal, but I'm not a huge tequila fan, and I love their tequila cocktails, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
They just have, again, they're just geniuses when it comes to mixing flavors and they're. I'm stumbling on my words, but
right. The mezcal is crazy. It's got so much smoke and complexity to it that it's almost like a bourbon.
So when I go there, actually, speaking of mezcal, I always get one of their famous cocktails, and it's a tableside cocktail. And what they do is they have a little bit of tea leaves and they light them on fire, so you get the smoke of the tea leaves, and they cover it with a glass. And then they make the cocktail with this mezcal, which if you never had it, if you're a bourbon drinker, it's a really great transition into mezcal because it's very peaty and smoky, and it's a great cocktail. It's similar to an old fashioned with mezcal instead of the bourbon. And then what they do is they bring it to your table and they pick the glass up. And what happens is all the smoke billows out and you get a big woof of smoke. They pour they have a big ice cube. They put the ice cube in and pour the cocktail under. And because, a lot of your taste comes from what you actually smell. So you already have this woof of the really nicely scented tea leaves. And you take a sip of it, and it's one of the better flavors or sensations I've had. Like, it's such a treat to go there. It's so good. Like, if you like bourbon even a little bit, you just, or if you like tequila or mezcal, like, I highly recommend you just go there and try one of these cocktails.
Woof.
And then every time we go, we always ask for, we just tell a chef to bring out some dishes for us. And he always does a great job. One of the favorites that we really like, we love the beet salad. Because my wife is a huge salad fan, and she always wants to at least have one salad. And he has this great beet and goat cheese salad, and he puts strawberries in there. And the flavor
plus sweet.
Oh yeah, they just go really nice together, and the plate's beautiful, and all his plates are beautiful, and that's always a favorite. And then he always has some sort of ceviche, which
we had hamachi that one time. It was insane. It was almost like sushi.
Yeah, it's really good. And he does different takes on those. I've had one that uses the it's a manzano pepper, which is a yellow pepper. That's fairly medium to high spice, and kind of a new flavor profile for me, at least. I mean, I'm not an expert in some of this stuff, so it was really exciting and fun to try. And then he has some other ones that are more of the typical traditional ceviches, but delicious nonetheless. And then we always get the deconstructed taco, and it's really fun because you get to put your taco together like at the table, so it's interactive and it's fun and you can talk about it. But he puts together this mix with pork belly, and I don't know what he does to it, but it's delicious and it's really fun, and it's fun to go with a bunch of people, and it's great.
Nice.
And then when it's time to order the entrees, he has a mole short rib that is just to die for. It's a short rib braised in mole. He makes a crispy rice for it, and really it's delicious. It's an awesome dish.
Is the crispy rice like a cake, like a sushi crispy rice, or is it something more loose?
I think it's kind of a Mexican flavored rice, and he just sautés it almost like a fried rice.
Okay.
So it has it has some texture to it.
Yep.
It's really nice. And then he's famous for his chili killies, and he actually has a dinner chili killie, and it's excellent. And he has this perfect poached egg, he calls it.
It's this arrachera with hanger steak,
yes,
chilaquiles, avocado mousse, and poached egg. Yeah.
He calls it the perfect poached egg. He's very excited about it whenever he tells you about it, and it comes out. It's like it's a perfect circle, and it's a soft poached egg, and he puts it right on top. And oh man, that dish is awesome. We've also had the scallops, which is delicious. Last time we were there, we were really lucky. We got there before the rest of our party, and he was doing tasting a few. He's doing some R&D, and he let us taste a crab enchilada that I don't see on this menu now.
Yep.
But oh, here it is. Actually, crab cake tamale. He did put it on the menu. Awesome. But it's an awesome crab and corn elote pimento dish that he was just trying it out, and it was really cool to get to try it. So that dish was also one that I'd highly recommend. But again, this it's a little bit off the beaten path. It's not in any of the downtown Costa Mesa or Newport Beach or the Orange Circle or Anaheim Packing District restaurants, but it's not too far away from at least the Circle.
It's very close to, I think Anaheim, because it's kind of close to Anaheim Stadium a little bit.
It's kind of close to Anaheim Stadium. It's kind of close to the block of Orange.
Yep, it's right in there.
It's in that medical area. There's a lot of, what is it? What's the medical center over there? Do you know?
I forget. I mean, there's a bunch of them, actually.
Okay.
I don't know if they're all connected.
There's doctors and everything. And the decor is funky. It's painted pink, and he has a bunch of cool little memorabilia. He has a really, really old video camera, which anything in video I love, and some funny signs. He has this chalkboard painting it's cool. So the decor is a little funky and cool, but I tell you, man, the food and the cocktails here are definitely worth the trip, and it's very reasonably priced for what you get. And and it's just a lot of fun. And the staff and the people there are just they're really good at what they do, and they have a lot of fun doing it, and it shows. So I highly recommend going there.
Yeah, they, as I recall, when we were out there filming video, they have a lot of attitude and a lot of fun. Like, you can see some of it in the menu, like Borracho Problems, the
Yeah.
big chalk artwork behind with the Borracho drunken guys in there, and the sayings that they put on the board above the bar. They're just definitely, they have an edge and a kind of a fun orientation to the whole deal.
Oh, definitely. And if you get a chance when you go there, if you get a chance to meet Chef, he's just a great guy. I mean, he is.
He's hilarious.
He's funny. You can just see his smile and his smirk about. He loves it. He loves pleasing people. He loves having people at his restaurant. He's a very proud man, as he should be. And it's just a lot of fun to go there. It's one of my favorite nights out that I've had in a long time.
Yeah, good stuff. Good breakdown. X's and O's. So people, now a few tips from us. We've eaten there, and make sure you try it. I mean, the whole menu is really deep and complex, and there's, you can see right here. I mean, there's tons of flavor. I'm looking at the bone marrow, thinking, God, I want to try that because there's a twist on it. He's got calabazitas there, which is not going to be like a traditional bone marrow.
Oh, I mean, he's great at doing that. I love food and study food, but every time I go there, I get introduced to one or two ingredients that are usually from Mexico that I had no idea about before. So that's another reason why I really like to go there, because of his expertise in Mexican cuisine and Mexican ingredients and how he introduces them to us. I know he regularly goes down to Mexico to source some of these things. So, I mean, it's just a lot of fun, and again, great guy, very smart, fun food.
Yep.
And just does takes a lot of great technique and puts it with a new flavor profile that you don't normally see it with, and it makes it a lot of fun and really tasty. So, if you go to a place like what's the place down on Newport Coast that everyone loves so much? A Mexican restaurant.
Oh, Javiers, yeah.
Javiers. If you go to a place like Javiers for the food, I'd say, like, yeah, you know what? Start going to Aneplacos, and you'll have a way better meal, and it'll be a lot of fun. I mean, you might not get the OC Housewives crowd, but like, if you're like really serious about just the food and the cocktails, and you're bringing the party, like, it's seriously, like, that's the spot you need to go.
Totally. Here they are too on their contact page, and there's the number. Aneplaco.com, Anepalco.com. Everything's there. Cool. Let's shift gears, and then I'll be pretty quick here. We're going to talk about Old Vine, a place that we've covered on GrubTribe, and a place that I went to, I think, like 10 years ago. It's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe even longer. But the thing that blew me away 10, 12 years ago, I'm going to have to look that up, and we'll see how old it is. But it's in the camp. Chef Mark McDonald's doing great things there, and it's a really well-coordinated menu with wines, pairings, and they're known for a heavy pour, so it's a fun place to go with a group or on a date, because you get kind of off-the-beaten-path wines and fantastic food paired really well. So it's an eating experience. The thing when I was there for the first time when it was brand new, they had burrata, which did not have the kind of cachet that it does now. It's not the hip, cool. I mean, everybody has burrata now, right? But the cool thing about what they do with their burrata is it's this caprese of mozzarella burrata, the second one down on the menu here. They flash fry arugula, and to me that was original too back then. But they kept it on the menu because I think it's a crowd pleaser and people like that. The texture is so different with the smooth cheese and then this crunch and edge to the fried arugula. So that's a great one. I love that. And here's a good example of what they're doing here. they're pairing a glass of dry Lambrusco, and the funny thing about Lambrusco is it can be one of those old. Uh, People think, oh, Lambrusco, like kind of a cruddy Italian, sweet, bubbly, icky, but they have a really nice dry one, and it's really good with that lightness on that cheese. Something I think that you would like are the scallops. I don't know. Have you? Oh, you know what? When we were there, Mark cooked octopus, which they do
Wasn't that good?
really nicely. Yeah, and it's very original and creative. Yeah, it's seared octopus with sourdough sand and celery, like these shaved celery. It's a good looking dish, but it's octopus done right, which they braise it I think for quite a while in the afternoon, and then they warm it up a little in the pan when they're making the sauce. It's very tender.
Oh, it's delicious. You know, one of the things that I really like about Old Vine Cafe, that Mark is also into art. He really likes art.
Yep.
And a lot of the dishes that he composes, and I mean, you can't do this with every dish that he's doing because, he has a strong Italian background or flavor profile in a lot of his food. And sometimes you can't make pasta look like the Mona Lisa, but on some of his other dishes, like the plating of it, he does to try and resemble almost, it really is art on a plate. And with that octopus dish, one of the things I remembered is it was kind of a land to sea type feel to it. And he used the sourdough crumbs to represent the sand, and then he used green herb oil. I forget what, I don't know if it was basil oil or parsley oil, I forget. I didn't see it here.
Yeah,
but,
it's parsley infused extra virgin olive oil. Yeah, and it was so green. The color was intense.
So it really looked like a sand to ocean almost thing on your plate too, which I think he's really good and creative at as much as any chef in Orange County.
Yep, and these pairings again are great. He's pairing it with a dry white Austrian wine, which is perfect. I mean,
well, I'm sorry. Another cool thing, if you don't mind, he has a bunch of tasting menus you can get when you go there.
Yep.
So, I mean, you have to know nothing about wine, and you can go, and he is a sommelier as well. So he makes these great 4-course dinners with some of the better wines you ever had, and they just match. They come together so well. And like you said too, it's a heavy pour, So you go there and you get one of these. You have a great meal, and you leave there feeling great, having tasted some great wines and plentiful, quite a bit of great wines, and it's abundance at its best, and it's a lot of fun.
It's definitely that European experience where you're going to be there for a couple hours, and you're going to go slow, and you're going to take your time, and you're going to think about what you're eating.
Oh yeah, and he does these culinary trips too. We got to talk with Chef John Nocita,
yeah.
And last time he was in America, but he does these great culinary trips. He does one to South Italy and one to North Italy, and he's been posting all these beautiful pictures on his Facebook page and on Old Vine's Facebook page. And they're just, I mean, as soon as my kids get a little older, I'm going to go on one. It's like, it's on the bucket list, like it sounds like so much fun, and I'm so jealous when I see these pictures because it's kind of where I want to be. But
yeah.
Chef John,
I've got it up right now on his Facebook page.
Yeah.
Those trips are out of control. Like, we're going to do one day.
Yeah. We should do like a whole GrubTribe, like,
a pilgrimage back to the old country.
But anyway, and Chef John, I mean, he's one of the good guys. He loves food. He loves teaching about food. He's super charismatic in all the best ways. He was just a lot of fun when we got to meet him, and if you ever have a chance, if you have an opportunity and you really want to learn about some food, I highly recommend you signing up for one of these trips. If you can swing it, do it. It's definitely on my bucket list and something I want to do.
Yeah, and catch him if he comes here too. We saw him at surface, and he was making cheese for 2 days straight, and we were tasting wine and eating pasta, and he was just making it and talking, and he's highly entertaining and very knowledgeable about what he's doing.
Hey, I want to throw in one quick personal story before we end this, and I hope everyone liked this. But about Old Vine Cafe, right after Carly, my wife, and I got married, we had just gotten back from our honeymoon, and we went to Old Vine Cafe, and we ordered the wine dinners, one of the tasting menus. I forget which one at the time, and we had a great dinner. But we had such a good time. 9 months later, we had our first son. So we always kind of think of Old Vine Cafe as where some of the magic started. So I don't know if I'm not saying you're. I don't know if that's
Are you making a promise here? Is there a guaranteed romance and children and procreation is involved?
And this is a great place to take a date. Like, it really is, and you guys can have a lot of fun. So I highly recommend Old Vine Cafe for any type of romantic endeavors you want to pursue. So.
Yep, and they're in the camp on 2937 Bristol Street. That's Costa Mesa, and make sure you follow them on Facebook and Instagram, because, like you said, that trip, the photos that came out of that were incredible.
Yeah. So you guys too, tell us if you like this, because if you do, we'll do more of these. And we'll choose some of the restaurants that we've had an opportunity to dine at, and some of the chefs we've got to meet, and we'll go through and give you breakdowns of local restaurants and see if they're helpful, and maybe choosing your next place to go. Again, we have a lot of restaurants that we'd love to do this for and with and talk about, because we're very proud of we're very proud of the Orange County culinary scene, and there's a lot of great restaurants. And these are two of them, but let us know if this helps.
Yep, and if you want to take a deeper look, there are always videos of all these chefs up on GrubTribe.com.
Oh, we'll link a few in the show notes too, so you can watch some of the videos. Cool.
Right on.
All right.
Thanks, Jeff. We're out of here. Adios.